Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We are in episode 72. Scottie Pippen's a hater, bro. We're going to continue. Scottie Pippen's a hater.
You're going to go straight to it like that? Straight to it like that.
Straight to it like that, man. Straight like that, man. Hey, look, man, where we left off at, man. I said I saw a clip of Stephen A. Smith talking about Scottie Pippen and how Mike told him it was okay to talk about the fact that Scottie Pippen didn't say nothing to him when his father passed, and he thought it was because he was trying to give him some space because of the media craziness that was going on around it, and he found out it was just because he hated his guts, basically. He was jealous of him, man.
He didn't want to be number two.
He ain't want to be number two, man. These egos in the world, man. Bro, you play under this man, you build your whole legacy. You consider one of the best 50 players of all time, and you had no type of background as being like that. You had no expectations for you coming in the league. You become one of the 50 greatest under this man's tutelage. You get to rock by yourself when he go away to go mourn his father's passing that you was like good riddance to. And then you go get your behind handed to you 2 years in a row, and then you start holding his Jordans up, talking about, come on back.
Come back. Come back.
Come on back, daddy. We can't do it without you. You know what I'm saying? That's how you do. Just to find out that you still hate this man guts. You run around trying to talk about how everybody's better than him. He was a horrible player. He was this and this and that. Yet you couldn't get it done without him and whatnot. And like we was just saying before,
Scottie syndrome.
This is a continuation of being off air, the conversation from off air, on air. But this is what's crazy to me, right? We always, as older people, looked at as these Jordan lovers, and we were just saying, I can name 10 people I like better than Mike in Mike's heyday.
In the moment, in the moment, in the 80s and through the 90s. If we had to name who was our top 10 favorite players in the moment, honestly, Jordan probably wouldn't even make my top 10 of the players I like that were my favorite players in the 90s and 80s.
Same here. So when I say Mike's the GOAT, I ain't no D-writer. It ain't that. That joker earned my respect the hard way. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
and like what I was saying before is in the moment, we watched LeBron's entire career from the first game to now. And I rooted for LeBron and was more of a LeBron fan in the moment than a Jordan fan in the moment. And I can still sit back and get the nod and say, nah, MJ the GOAT. He the GOAT. And I didn't root for him, but maybe 2 times against when they were playing the Jazz. It's the only time I ever rooted for Mike and wanted to see Mike win.
Yeah.
That's the only time. And I can still recognize and say, nah, that's the GOAT.
You as a lifelong Pistons fan, you know how hard it's got to be for you? The only other team that it's got to be harder to admit that is a New York Knicks fan. Outside of y'all, dude, like...
Yeah.
And you
Big
can
rivalry.
say it.
Not even a rivalry. It wasn't even a rivalry. And it was just like, who's this guy? Get him up out of here.
Okay, now, I hear you, Zeke. That's that stuff Isaiah Thomas be talking, right? And it's like, I feel you, but you still made the Jordan rules for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
No. You still had it come from him. You still had it come from him. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was still
magical. Was still there. Now, let's not act like he was just a peon just because he wants your main focus. You knew you was gonna get through him, but you still it requires some effort. Let's not play.
Had to put some work in. Nah, you're right. It
requires some strategy to get the job done. But you was really looking past him. But at the same time,
but see, like I get it. But when it comes to Zeke, Zeke just? You gotta have that vibrato still, just because of where the rivalry still is to this day. Like, if it wasn't like that, I don't think Zeke would be saying that. But it's just the fact that there's still that grudge that MJ has, that I guess resentment in a little bit that MJ still just expresses towards Zeke. So Zeke like, hey, well, you talking, I'm gonna talk. You ain't never beat us.
Well, see, Isaiah never stopped talking. Even when he was commentating, Isaiah never stopped talking. It was always a little extra on it. You know what I'm saying? Like just a little, like one little shot here and there. Even when he was commentating them games and stuff back in the day. Like, okay, Isaiah commentated the Jazz, his final game, right? For the Bulls. And then he called it a push off in the moment. Like Mike with the little veteran tactic in the push off. Like it's always been something with them guys. But at the same time, it's personal. Because they got a relationship like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That extend beyond basketball, honestly.
It goes beyond basketball. And that's why them guys don't get along, which is the same reason Barkley and Mike ain't kicking it these days. Is because
which is crazy too.
It ain't on-court rivalry. It's off-court stuff that led to that.
Yeah. So it's just sometimes Zeke bring it back to the court. And I got to spank you real quick just to remind you.
Yeah, I bet Mike blood be bubbling when he hear that stuff too. Mike
because you can't go back and rewrite history. We were talking about that with Pippen playing number 2. You can't go back and rewrite history, and they gotta make MJ blood boil because you can't go back and rewrite history. You never beat them bad boy Pistons. You might have became the greatest. You might have had 2-3 peats in a row, but one thing you never did, you never beat them bad boys.
Well, he beat them. They walked off the court afterwards.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Don't you rewrite history? I don't know.
Okay. Wait,
I
did.
History. I did. I got to be careful with you.
Okay, I misspoke. But in that, I'm talking about like throughout the. Not saying you never beat him, but you had.
He killed them. He ended y'all. Y'all was done after Mike.
We had to walk off. It
was a wrap. Like.
Walk off, and we was never the same.
Get out of here, boy! Don't come back no more.
And we was never the same.
Bad boys, they were never the same.
Never the same.
Figured y'all out. Y'all didn't make it back to 2000s. He killed them to the 2000s.
20 years. Put us on ice for not 20 years, but about 10 years. Put us on ice for about 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
12 years. Put us on ice. Whew.
Yeah, man. But anyway, man, let's get to these sticks, man. Scott, you a hater, bro, man. You got to do better, man. And that is, man, your in-law. You got to do better, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's family now.
It's beyond basketball.
Take his last name. They all gonna be Jordan soon. They ain't gonna be the Pippen name is gone, bro. Come on, man.
Well, you think that's a Jordan thing? Hey, go get his ex and change all the Pippins to Jordan. She gonna.
People make that comment, man. You know, you never know, man. Mike is psychotic, but I don't know if he's calculated.
So
petty. Knock her off in the public. You know what I'm saying? She like attention. Make sure the cameras is there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh boy, that's so petty. Man, what we smoking today, man? What we got? What's going on?
Ooh,
man. Hey, look, man. I've been loving the smell of these cigars lately. Something I got to get into, but we'll get into there after we get these cigars lit. But hey, look, man, I'm smoking another one that you gifted me. I'm on a roll, and I smoked this one already off camera. I smoked it on my birthday or the day after my birthday, I think it was. But I want to talk about it on air on the show and give some insight to this guy, because it's one of the cigars I've seen a lot. Never really grabbed it. I don't think I'll ever grab one. But since you did the liberty of putting one in my hand, I'm going with it. The Diesel Whiskey Row. Because it has a unique flavor that I actually kind of want to accentuate and talk about. That not all cigars typically lean towards this way. So I'm saying, hey, let's get into this conversation about this particular flavor. We talked about the spice. We talked about those sweet ones. But this has that particular boldness that's that can give you a little something different that I want to highlight. So we got Diesel Whiskey Row.
And I got the Diamond Crown Maximus number 3. I'm sorry, Maximus Pyramid number 3. And, you know, you look at that right there. That's why they call it a pyramid. I ain't want to call it a tip, but, you know, you
pause.
Yeah. This wrapper type is Ecuador. It's got the Dominican Republic binder and the Dominican origin along with the Dominican filler. And, you know, I said to you last week, you know, I wanted to kind of get into a couple of these cigars. They're a little lesser names. So, you know, that's what we're doing this week. Diamond Crown. And along with the whiskey, even though we know whiskey is made by, you know, the homie. Diesel. I'm sorry, the Diesel is made by the homie. Yeah. And when you say the homie, what do you mean? AJ Fernandez. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna speak about that because I wasn't aware I wasn't aware. And doing the research into these cigars, knowing that AJ is behind Diesel, I actually nod to it. But my cigar is Nicaraguan in origin. Binder is Mexican. Filler Nicaraguan. And wrapper Ecuador Habano.
Hey, that's dope.
Got a V cut. Got a V cut with it.
Of course, I went straight on that pyramid, but you know why you get a nod to it, right? The Diesel for being by AJ and you not knowing.
What's that?
It's because the homie, The Rock, is constantly dropping new cigars. He got a new rollout coming, and it's all under his name. So you got to give some love to those companies that know to not overexpose themselves.
Overexpose. I mean, and that's something that
use the consumer from so many products coming out. And that's something I want to talk about too. After we get these cigars lit, it's something I do want to speak on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it translates too deeply into the cigar culture or not, but in culture altogether, it's something that's, it's concerning to me. It's concerning. Because I don't want to say less is more. Never go away. When your favorite people just stay in your face year round. Is that what you mean?
It's all in your face now. But I don't want to say like less is more. But because we know Drew Estate is out there and they are constantly pumping sticks. We know that AJ is behind a lot of these cigars that are great cigars. So they have numbers. They got numbers. Mm-hmm. But it's about how they strategically go about, moving around the cigar industry. And it's two different ways to go about it. We can be in your face, or we can be subtle behind the scenes, just quietly getting it done and being a pillar to the community and making it happen.
Yeah. It's okay with diversifying your portfolio, Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are more than established. We love you. We want to try all of them when you drop them, but man, you can put them under different names. Start building some different brands. So in case one of the brands ever get messed up, reputation wise, you can have another one. You know what I'm saying? It's just as good.
Rocky's all about his name. Rocky wants you to know his name, and he is going to be proud to let you know that this is a Rocky. Put the band on it. It's a Rocky, RP all day.
Yeah, he definitely like that, man. But what happens if something ever happens to his reputation? All these celebrities catching cases. What if Rocky catch a case? You know what I'm saying? And now the Rocky Patel name is messed up.
It's under,
and that's all you got. 172 different cigars all under RP when you could have been diversifying them. Mm-hmm. You still got the money to put behind these other names and these other brands. So you could have slowly built them up the same way. You could have promoted them through your lounges and everywhere else. You could have promoted them on your actual Instagram and social media pages.
And I think we need to look into it. What does Rocky do outside of Rocky? We know Drew Estate does a lot of business outside of Drew Estate umbrella. We know AJ's underneath a lot. Placencia's doing a lot of underground work too. Is Rocky just exclusively Rocky? We know he has some collaborations. Of course, collaborations with Drew Estate we know about. But does Rocky do some underwork too? Like, is Rocky just that entity by himself, just a juggernaut killing it over here, or is it kind of filtering over to some other parts of the cigar culture and the cigar industry, and being a pillar over here, a pillar over there, and helping out other brands like you spoke about, or are you just hoarding?
It seems like a little bit of both, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't know. I just want the best for Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Because actually, Rocky's
don't get me wrong.
Favorite personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like,
love it. Yeah. I mean, we got a chance to be, you know what I'm saying, Rocky fans in the moment down at the Big Smoke in Vegas a few years back. We did that. And trust me, I sent you a post from Rocky with another cigar rollout. Probably why you mentioned it now. But definitely when I saw it, I like, I want to grab that stick. I want to try it. So every time Rocky rolls out a stick, I'm in line. I go and grab me one. I try it out. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. But every time he releases one, it's like, okay, it's one of those things. He release it, I got to go try it. So it's never short of me not wanting to support Rocky or try Rocky, because every time you drop, I'm picking it up. I'm checking you out.
Hey, man, that might be all Rocky care about. Rocky might be like, you know what you just said is why I do what I do. And hey, man,
I'm gonna just keep dropping, because as long as I keep dropping, people gonna keep trying. They gonna keep buying.
You running your mouth over there at Vernon Cigars. Y'all running y'all mouth, but you gonna buy my cigars.
You gonna buy it. You gonna still go buy it.
STFU. Yeah, see y'all STFU. Y'all gonna buy the sticks regardless. What you running your mouth for? Shut up and get in line.
Shut up and get in line. Okay. I'm gonna be the humidor. All right. Okay.
You got us playing.
So,
you know.
So that kind of leads me into this, man. It kind of leads me into this. Jay-Z made a quote one time. I think when he was winning an award, he said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't."
Yeah.
That was some years back, maybe over a decade. I can't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
And that might have been true in a moment. That might have been somewhat true in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But numbers lie.
Yeah.
I think
in a digital world, numbers lie.
Not even in the digital world, but more so, I think to me it's been more accentuated in the digital world than numbers lie. But just in society today, the way society is now, the way numbers are padded, the way numbers are, the quality of things to get numbers. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you used to see McDonald's put on the billboard, billion burgers sold or whatever. You remember those? You remember that?
I remember that. I remember.
A billion burgers sold. I know we talked about in basketball, the triple-double. What does the triple-double mean? Back in the day, that triple-double was coveted. Like Jason Kidd to go out, get you 14 rebounds, 14 assists, and put up 18.
Yeah.
But then when you think about the score was maybe like 85 to 84, 85 to 81, that 14 points, those 14 rebounds, the 14 assists, that's a big portion of the 80 points. Yeah. But you got these players out here scoring 20, getting 12 assists and 10 rebounds, but then so many more shots were put up. So you put up more shots, you're going to have more opportunity for more rebounds. The score is 145 points a night. You're going to score. You're going to score 20 points because the final score is 145. So That 20 points is highly diluted compared to scoring 20 points out of an 80-point game, 80-point contest. So numbers lie. I think numbers lie. Or not that the numbers lie, but numbers don't mean what numbers used to mean.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. Numbers are men lie, women lie, numbers misguide. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
they mislead.
I like that.
I mean?
Numbers mislead.
Yeah,
numbers mislead.
They do.
Because you sold 1 billion burgers, but what was the quality of them burgers? Your quality stinks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 1 billion burgers, but them 1 billion burgers today ain't what the 1 billion burgers used to be like. Ray Kroc had some nice patties back in the day.
Right.
But them patties ain't the same patties from back in the day. So
the customers are really satisfied out of that 1 billion sold versus just buying it out of necessity.
Quick grab, price point, or whatever. So you brag on the numbers, but what do those numbers even mean? We got the streams in the digital world. You see it like before. It used to mean something. I used to go on YouTube and want to see how many views this video. Oh man, this video did 100 million in a week. What do those numbers really mean? You know what I'm saying? Like you watch a video for 30 seconds, and then also I heard this. I don't know if you shared it. I don't know where I heard this at. But some people are putting like their music in ads, and that 5-second ad count towards a view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. So you can pay to get views through your campaigns and whatnot. You know, your promotion, marketing campaigns.
Yeah. So whether that person
goes along with album being packaged along with merchandise. So if somebody's selling a T-shirt and you don't buy their album, but you buy their T-shirt, and their T-shirt came with a free digital scan of the album, is credited as an album sold, even though you may never ever play that album.
Mm-hmm.
The game's weird, like, you know, and it's,
yeah, like how do you get credit for a stream for a song that nobody wanted to listen to, or a video that nobody wanted to watch? It's just your video happened to come up in between two videos I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm stuck here watching this ad for 15 seconds, and you get credit for a view.
Yeah. Sometimes a mandatory 30 is what they even pushing it to now. So I mean, it's just it's a weird game, man. But you know, that leads me into something, and I don't want to get too far off topic with what you're going, but the way that technology has gone and the way that everything has gone to focusing on a number is the focus now, achieving a number. How do I get this number? How do I get this view? How do I get credit for this type of attention that I got, this one piece of attention I got? It has now watered the game down so far that all the art is gone from everything. There's no art in nothing no more. There's no respect for the art, nothing. You get a song, they figured out, hey, man, 2 minutes is the max you need to do. There's no moment, there's no breakdown in the song where the band gets to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it ain't about the art no more. They done figured out how to take lyrics out of songs, and now it's all about cadences and rhythms and stuff like that.
All I got to do is make sure I come up with a piece that can be 30 seconds long enough to be a TikTok. I can use it in TikTok and people make a video of it, and it goes viral. And that soundbite was used 100 million times. It's a stream. It's a stream. If somebody takes that little soundbite, that little 15-second little hot little line that you said, or a catchy little line that you said, makes a video out of it, it goes viral. That's a million views. It's a million streams. 100 million streams.
I looked at somebody was saying something about music videos. I looked at some video and they were talking about music videos, and it hit me that all the creativity has been removed from music videos. They took the art out of music videos. They took the art off of the artwork that people don't put no focus on. You remember when Kanye made such a big fuss on College Dropout about his artwork? Mm-hmm. They done took the artwork out of music. They took the music videos out, the artist creativity out of that. Now it's just people standing in front of a green screen. When before it used to be a whole miniature movie. Mariah Carey would have a whole movie for Honey and stuff, and people be running around, and Diddy would be dancing around with
whole action videos. You know what I'm saying? Action movies.
Action videos, all this stuff. The Biggie's video where they would playing golf, and it was Ruffy Woods, whatever it was, Mace Gumble. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff. They took all the artistic work out of everything that you ever loved, and it's no artistic value to it. You can't get it's just a thumbnail of somebody's picture when they was a baby. It's no there's no thought process behind it. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. They have took all the creativity out of anything artistic.
Man, I mean, that took me back. That reminded me, my pops used to do this with me all the time. He has a huge record collection. And what got me into album artwork, my pops used to break out the records and show me the artwork on the records. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. Like, they put so much creativity in those album covers back in the day.
Bro, the album covers were made by painters in most cases. They were real pieces of art. You could take those album covers now.
Real artists. Actual artists creating these album covers.
Marvin Gaye's record. Man, incredible artwork on that. I can't even think of the name of the daggone record right now, right off the top of my head. But it's the one where they having the party. You know what I'm saying? It's incredible artwork. Like, man, but it's gone. Like, anything that required talent, hey man, I'm about to get on my old head soapbox.
What's going on?
All things that require talent, man, and I'm so disappointed in
it. Matter of fact, just speaking of this, like, even artwork used to inspire generations and the people. Like, I'm not the this is not the album cover that you were talking about. This is the one that came to mind. Well, a couple of them came. A few Marvin Gaye albums, record covers came to mind. But the What's Going On, the leather coat with the collar up, and it just had you in that mindset. You know what I'm saying? That inspired a generation. You know, it's like just those things, those moments. But man, numbers ain't the same. Numbers ain't the same, and the way we go about things, like you talking about the dilution of art, because everything is so fast paced and just put it out. We're not worried about the time that it takes to curate something. And I was this also brought something else to mind, and this might be a little turn, but I sent you something that was a comparison between Michael Jackson and Prince, and somebody saying what Prince did versus what Michael Jackson did, and the kind of artist that Prince was versus the kind of artist that Michael Jackson was. And it's like, well, Prince did this and Prince did that, and he played this, he played that, then he did Purple Rain was a movie. But then at the same time, Michael Jackson did a bunch of mini movies.
Every album he dropped a song, a video that was a mini movie on it.
Several. Yeah. I mean, Thriller was a moment.
Videos. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Black and White was a moment. Remember the Time? That was a moment.
Yeah, man.
Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal. Huge moment. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So like he didn't do it like a full-length movie, but that's back when numbers meant something. So I can do I'm not gonna do one movie, but I'm gonna give you 10 mini movies.
Act like Mike wanted a movie either though. Mike did The Wiz. That's just as classic as Purple Rain.
Oh, you're right. But it wasn't his movie though. That's the only thing. Purple Rain was Prince's movie. It was an album that had that and the movie that company that hold the whole. So it's a little different. But Mike has some acting chops.
Once you get into the independency of it all, yeah. But you know, if we just talking about
performing
versus performing, yeah, they both did. He did his thing too. Like, you know, this is the thing. I don't want to get into the Prince Mike conversation now because I think we touched on it. Then it gets into. I have to start nitpicking, like, because you're at the highest level. The way we were talking about with Nas and Jay, once you get to the highest level, you got to really start
nitpicking,
and them two brothers, I really don't want to get into doing that on air. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I only wanted to bring that up because, like, I wanted to say that numbers matter when it came to like Mike putting together all of these, like the art that he put into it. Like, you did a lot of mini movies, but it was quality in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you talked about the Diddy and
he's trying to set the new bar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Set the new bar. And that's the cloth that a lot of these other artists that you mentioned came from. Hype Williams and his videos that he put together. It's artistic. One thing I do, I give Chris Brown props because Chris Brown does it. But Chris Brown comes from that mindset of watching Mike do and being influenced directly from Mike.
Yeah. Chris Brown is from a different era, influenced by a different era. Just because he crossed over into another era because of a longevity, it don't mean that he ain't got roots in knowing better. You know what I'm saying? In this game, he knows better. Now, some of those that come from under the Chris Brown tree, they don't know better, but that's on them. Like, that ain't on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He showed you a better way. Like,
and still showing you the way. I mean, like, I don't give Chris Brown enough props. You know, he's not one of my favorite artists, but I got to give him his props of how he's carried the legacy on from coming from that Mike cloth, coming from that 80s, 90s era where they was really doing it and being one of the only ones that's still doing it like that now.
Yeah. Well, you can tell he cares about his art. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's
an artist. He's an artist.
Yeah, he is. He's an artist. And it comes from, even with him figuring out how to navigate in today's times, he still hasn't totally lost touch of the art. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that more people would do that, because this is what's happened. Like, right, we all look at it like evolution is what's supposed to happen and things are supposed to continue to evolve, but you can evolve something and change something to the point where it's not better. Like, and that's what people got to realize. Newer ain't always better. Just because we keep evolving it and doing it and changing it to something else. You can have a haircut and you keep messing with that hairline, and eventually you're going to F it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to mess that hairline up if you keep moving it. So things don't get infinitely better the more you mess with it. Eventually, you cross the threshold where you took it too far, and we're working towards that. Like, yes, we've evolved it. We keep changing it. We've made some things better, and we found a sweet spot. But then you go beyond it, and then it's just like, all right, now we kind of get into a little messy area here, and somebody's got to take the lead and do something with it. You know what I'm saying? And do something.
Yeah.
Bring the art back to it to an extent. Like, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the 2000s was all just full of these masterful artists. It was a lot of garbage going on and a lot of, reckless talk and that stuff. But there was still an element of the art that was mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's the biggest issue. Is not the fact that the art is totally gone, but the fact that mainstream won't recognize the art no more. Like, and we need to find some balance to
and it's about how much it's pushed, because you honestly can go back to the 80s and 90s. It was still some garbage out there, but then what was pushed predominantly was the quality pieces that was pushed to the forefront predominantly, because you had to you had a space in a moment right now. I mean, because here we go with more numbers. Now you got so many more platforms, so many more avenues of releasing content, and there's so much content out there. Nobody's really taking advantage of, I have the moment, I have a space and time to be in front of your face. What am I going to do with it? Back in the day, you couldn't squander that. When you only had but so many channels, and you get a spot on that channel, and you get a spot to hold somebody's attention for a 30-minute TV episode, an hour TV episode, or you release a movie. It wasn't no streaming, and you know what I'm saying? You might have some B movies that were straight to VHS back in the day. Or if you got a theater screen, you got the moment. You're in front of people's faces, and you got their attention in that time. And back when you used to have to take time, pause your day to pay attention to whatever the entertainment is, it better have been some quality. But now it's so much to where people don't take the time. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to stop my life to listen to this album. I'm going to stop my life to watch this video, this movie. It's so much start and stop. I don't have to sit and watch a whole movie anymore, because I got to take this VHS back in 2 days. You know what I mean? I'm renting this movie from Blockbuster. It's got to go back. Or if I want to sit on it for a little bit longer, I got to pay a late fee to take it back, right? Now it's like people can consume in their own time. There's so much out there. So it's like, I don't have to give you the quality that I had to before. Because if I got a moment in space, I better use it wisely, and I better come with it. Now it's like, I can get a little bit here. I can have behind this. They're gonna come back. They're gonna click on me again. I get them next time. It wasn't no I get them next time.
Well, and let me take a little bit of the blame off the creators and put some of the blame on the consumers also. This is part of the consumer's fault also. Okay. Because everybody's so impatient and so microwave mind and so on the go that they don't give you time if you had something anyway. Look, part of great art is storytelling.
You're right.
Part of great art is storytelling. I got to build. So I'm going to hit you with something, a nice introduction, and we're going to slowly build up to a climax, and then we're going to come back down in the art of storytelling. But they don't allow you to do that no more anyway. Because look, I'll send my wife a 30-second video, and I'll look over at her watching it, and she'll skip ahead. And I'm like, you just skipped
30 seconds.
You couldn't listen to the whole thing to hear them build the point they were making. You just had to skip to the end of the point. But that's the mindset of people. Like, you don't have a lot of time. I can't give you a great intro because you ain't gonna care about it no more. Like me and I was riding to the oldie station when my son was in the car, and he was like, that was a long intro for that song. Back in the day, they would build on a song. Like
they give you 2-minute intro, a minute and a half intro.
Yeah, it might have been an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. I don't even remember which one it was.
Barry White. A little bit. Somebody.
Barry would sit there and let the band rock out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And then get to it. Like, you get a 7-minute song back in the day. But people won't allow it no more. They're patient. Be like, man, okay, where's the vocalist? Next song. And they skip ahead or whatever. Even with a TV show. If it's taking too long to get to the meat of the show, people are turn. You know
Skim
what I'm
through
saying?
it, yeah.
So, yeah, and that's our fault. You know what I'm saying? That you don't let nobody cook long enough to actually get their stuff off, and then realize, oh, this was great. This is great because people want to get to the end already. I want to get to the end so I can get to the next content. TikTok mindset.
Yeah. You're right about that. Like our patience level, and I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it too, in a sense. Usually when you send me a video, right, I'll click on it, but oh, good, it's a minute long. I can actually watch this. You know what I'm saying? Like you send me a video that's a little bit longer than a minute, like I gotta wait. You know what I mean? Like so, we want to consume our content. We want to consume that content. Like for me, I want to be able to consume most of my content in the moment I'm sitting down to watch that content. So anything longer than 2 or 3 minutes is like, I gotta come back to it later. I'm gonna stop this and come back to it later. And that's because there's so much out there. There's so much just coming at our brains that we want just to get to that meat. I gotta be honest. I'm guilty of it too. I try my best because I come from that cloth of being able to, or being able to appreciate the build up. Because as a creator myself, I participate in the build up. Now I need you to sit down and actually consume this all the way through so you can get the full idea. So I try to do it myself. But yeah, us as a consumer, so impatient. But like a minute, 30 seconds, I got you. Anything more than 2 minutes, like I got to come back to this later. I ain't got the 2 minutes right now. Hold on. But that's the crazy thing. Why don't we have a time like that anymore? With the way that things are, and things being so easily accessible, we can get around easier, more efficiently. Why do we feel like we don't have the time?
I don't know, but see, this is the thing. Maybe it's because it's so much, we become more selfish with our time. Because I'm not a fan of believing we don't have the time, but we have the time for.
But we feel like it.
What you feel like having the time for is what it come down to. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, say for instance, I'll go to sleep, wake up the next morning. My wife will have like 26 TikTok videos she sent me, but I'll send her 2 throughout the course of the day, and I see her skipping along through, and it's like, but you just sent me like 26. You know what I'm saying?
True. So I mean, you watched 26. I sent you 2. So you mean you ain't got the time for the 2 I sent?
You just got time for what you got time for, your own stuff that interests you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if she'll be like, did you watch what I sent you? I'm like, well, you sent me a lot. But she'll expect me to be ready to talk to her about the stuff she sent because that's what interests her. And the stuff that I send her that I think may interest her, maybe it doesn't interest her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's like, whatever. But I think maybe that's what it is. It's so much out there that people aren't lacking interest in receiving content, but they just want what they want. And I think people are constantly doing this, looking for what they want, scanning through for what interests me. Okay, you got my attention. Okay, you didn't keep my attention in the first 5 seconds. Okay,
to the next.
skip ahead so I can find out what you actually talking about, because I'm still curious of this topic, but you're taking too long to get to the point, and they'll fast forward ahead. Like I'll look at
also this
sometimes, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, and then I'll see that little ball across the bottom not moving very much, and I'm like, damn, I've been watching this 40 seconds and it ain't moved far, and I'll scroll it a little bit to see how much video it is. Oh, it's a 4-minute video. Never mind, and then I
ain't got time. I've done this. I've gone to the comment section because a lot of times people go to the comment section and they'll put like the timestamp of the meat of what the video is about. And you see people with the praying hands, thank you. You saved me so much time. Or they'll come in and they'll say, hey, look, what you actually want to listen to is on part 2. Part 2 is right here. Go to part 2. Like it'll be like a whole part 1, part 2. That ain't all right, get to the part 3. All right, that's what I want. So it's part the content creator, part the consumer. It's we all to blame. The way society is just the way we consume and the way we deliver. Because a lot of times people will do this. They'll do those part 1, part 2, part 3s so they can get the views on, instead of doing one video and being concise and to the point. They'll do a 3-part video so you can watch the 3 parts and get views for all the 3 when all you needed was this little piece in part 3 to get the views. So now I triple my views for the one piece of content that I would have done.
But see, that's
Numbers.
part of the game that makes it difficult too, is the fact that the creators got to hit numbers. You know what I'm saying? And they got to compete with so much out there. So that becomes the game. How do I trick the algorithm? How do I get these numbers? And meanwhile, you're competing with the fact that the consumer don't want to be bothered with it no way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
I was breaking down Country Wayne. I don't know if you ever watched Country Wayne videos, but he's masterful with this, right? So he does like 3-minute skits. And it's all like a continuation, right? Like almost like a soap opera, a TV show, whatever. And instead of doing a 10-minute video of everything, you break it down into this whole section is 4 sections to get to the whole idea of the story that I'm trying to tell. So if I have 1 million people watch this 1 10-minute video that gets the whole story across, I've got 1 million views in a 10-minute video. Or I can break this up in 3 or 4 videos, and I got 1 million people watching these 3 or 4 videos. Now I got 4 million. It just makes more sense, right? So in order to follow the storyline, instead of doing a 10-minute skit, do a 2-minute skit, 3-minute skit. And I got my viewers who are going to tune into each one of these skits instead of sitting there watching it because back in the day, I remember I used to watch these YouTube skits that used to be 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes long. But if I break it down, a 20-minute skit into 3 minutes, I get 7 times the views.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense.
Yeah. And like you say, that makes more sense. And then once that becomes the precedence, that's how we end up where we at.
Mm-hmm.
The game is messed up. The art is dead. Because now that's the precedence. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the guy that needs to tell the long story can never get to tell the long story because his video is showing up there for 30 minutes and they're like, man, I ain't about to click that. That's 30 minutes long. Let me go to this one. Like, man, I went on this whole journey at one point. Me and my wife were sitting around just watching videos. We came across all these movies that were 8 minutes long, like just 8, 7, 5, 10-minute video. All movies. They're literally movies, but they're under 10 minutes and stuff. And we just went on a spree. We watched like 10 movies, just an hour worth of movies and stuff. And it's just like, wow, this is going to end up being the future. Like, but it's watering the game down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I don't like the fact that movies is 3 hours now. You know what I'm saying? But hour and a half is a nice sweet spot for a movie. So
here's the thing. Like, here's the crazy thing. Because at one point, I would say, the mid-2000s, that kind of became the standard. A 3-hour movie became this, like, almost the standard. And I stopped watching movies for that fact. I'm like, I ain't going to sit here and watch The Dark Knight for, how long was The Dark Knight? Almost 3 hours? Or these Avenger movies?
Yeah, Avengers get up 3 hours, 2 hours.
Those used to determine you, but at one point, that was almost the industry standard to put out a 3-hour movie, a 2.5-hour movie. Yeah. But back in the day, 70-minute movie was a movie. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids for 75 minutes. We good. But the way the way our mind is now, and also reminded me of back in the day, or even now, I don't know if they still do it now. I gotta check out these cartoons. Remember cartoons back in the day? Some of these cartoons started doing like the little shorts. They'll have a 30-minute block, but they'll do like 3 episodes for these cartoons. And it was super successful for kids.
Yeah.
Because you ain't going to hold it.
That's why they do it now, because we all got the mindset of children.
Our attention span, we got kid-like attention spans now.
Attention span now, yeah. And see, this don't help society improve it, what we're doing, by catering to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because now we're catering to a more juvenile state of mind.
There you go. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's happening. So we wonder why we are the way we are. You know what I'm saying? We wonder why people that run around and act ignorant get all the attention and a positive video don't get no clicks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's because we're catering to a juvenile mindset. And, it's just going to produce more of that type of mindset, that type of thinking. Like, and to what you were saying about the movies and whatnot, going from an hour and a half to 3 hours and stuff. I got an explanation for that, man. I just learned this not long ago, but that's because a 60-page script makes about an hour and a half movie. So if you write like a 100-page script, that's like a 2.5-hour movie once it's all produced. Now you
Okay.
think about that in terms of a book. When you read a book, right? A 60-page book is a children's book. It's a small book.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't get a lot of information into that. So when these movies become 2.5 hours long, it's 100 pages worth of writing and dialogue. It's a 100-page book, basically. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't a long book, but it's the only way that you're going to be able to get more detail to explain the story.
Yeah, which is why people used to say back in the day, "Nah, I watched the movie, but the book was better."
That's fine. Because the book gave more detail, gave more insight. It explained the story in more detail. But you can't you can't take a 300-page novel and shrink it down to 60 pages and still tell.
But they used to do it back in the day, and I think that came from having a moment and then making the best of your moment. Even if it came just to make it a 90-minute film, I'm still taking the best of my moment.
Right.
I don't know. It's a conflict, but I haven't watched any. Are they still doing movies like that?
Like what?
With the way like these 3-hour movies, 2.5-hour movies. Is it still a lot? I haven't consumed a movie in a while, other than like Turtles movie and whatnot. But
they still do some. I mean, everything's 2 hours at least. Everything's 2 hours, and if you can get 220, you're doing good. You know what I'm saying? Most of them around that 2 hours, 220, 230, something like that. Occasional 240. They're not really hitting that 3-hour mark too often. I saw there was I never watched this one because it was way too long. I wasn't even willing to break it down into segments, but they had like a DC movie where like, what's all the characters from the DC when they come together?
Justice League.
The Justice League. The new Justice League movie is like 4 hours and some change. I said, you kiss my behind. I won't be sitting down for no 4 hours. Not even in 1 hour segments.
Yeah. Who's in the movie theater that long?
Forget that. Yeah, it came straight out on HBO Max. And I sit there and look at it.
Okay. Like, that's the only way.
I was like, man, I still ain't gonna do this. Like,
but what you can do, you can treat it like how people binge watch TV shows. You know what I'm saying? And you'll have to self-break it up. And I can see, I can see movies maybe going to this format of doing a part 1 episode, drop it, and then part 2 episode, movie episode. I don't know if they're doing it now. I don't really watch Netflix, but that sounds like a concept that actually fits the way media is consumed in this format.
Yeah, you know, they already done that though. They did that already. Yeah, man. They did
Roots.
that when we was kids, man. There you go. Roots, yeah. Alex Haley did that back in the day. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
and it was a classic.
It works. It was a classic. But
it will work. It will work more so now in this society because people can consume it at their own pace. Back when Roots came out, you could only watch the series when the series came on.
Yeah, they call them limited series now. When it's basically like a TV series that's only going to be 1 season long. And, you know, and they just put out like maybe 5 episodes of it. And it's really just a movie broken down in segments, if you think of it in that sense.
Okay. But see, that's a crazy thing. Like, I feel like the short format works better in that movie way now in order to deliver quality content more so than it works for music. But it seems like they're taking that concept and they put it into where it shouldn't work for media versus what should work for me. Because I think that format works really well for movies because I don't have 4 hours to sit. Well, I have it, but a lot of times I don't want to spend 4 hours just sitting down and watch the movie to get the whole idea. Hit me about 2 hours. I'm good with that. Because I'm going to fall asleep if I'm watching late at night, in the middle of the day. I got too much moving around to do to sit down and watch a 4-hour movie. So that format works more so to shorten things up in a movie format than it does for a song. Yeah. But I guess the numbers matter more.
It's still the same psychology issue you're running with because, like you said, the numbers matter. So the streaming game has messed that up for people too. You know how many people? There's a running joke online where people say they sit down to look on Netflix for something to watch on TV, and then they realize they're not ready for that type of commitment. Then they just hop on Instagram or TikTok or something.
I can't commit to this.
So what happens when Netflix can't get the numbers, or HBO Max can't get the numbers, or Disney Plus ain't getting the numbers, Hulu ain't getting the numbers? The game is messed up again. These shows start getting canceled. These movies don't start going straight to these platforms no more, and then they can't even get picked up no more before you know it. And then you end up with actors striking for 8 months, talking about they ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
It goes back to numbers, man. The numbers got everything messed up, ruined. But it's the consumer's fault. It's all you short-minded MFers' fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody want to get their attention to nothing no more. So now can't nothing thrive. So God bless you when AI takes over everything. You got to watch computer-generated humans do all your entertainment for you and stuff like that, man.
Yeah. But you know what's going to be crazy with that AI thing? What's going to happen is this AI world, when it comes, is going to be crazy because it's already here. But when it gets more sophisticated, you're going to be able to create whatever content that is that you want to watch. I feel like whatever environment, whatever thing that you want in your life that you want to consume, or you want to be around your surroundings with the VR goggles and whatnot, and you go into a world that you created. You can create the people that you want to be around with the personalities and what they look like. You can create the content that you want to watch, and because they already you can create whole scenes by typing, I want to see a wolf flying with a cape over buildings doing this, and the whole thing will pop up and give you everything that you thought to see. And people are going to be able to create the content that they want.
6 legs, but one leg will be coming out the side of his head. But yeah, they'll do it.
but they'll do it. But like that's in its infancy. But when it becomes more complicated and more sophisticated, you're going to be able to create whatever world that you want, whatever content you want to consume. I want to watch, and the whole thing will probably play out.
Yeah. And then you have all these VR goggles that let you live in it. The meta will be running it. You actually live in your real world. So what's the point of living at that point?
We're going to be vegetables, man. We're going to wake up, put our goggles on, wherever I want. I want to be on Bora Bora today with whatever. Yeah. This is what I want to see around. I'm going. Hey, you want to meet me in Bora Bora tomorrow? All right, bet. Log on, and we're gonna log on together and go to Bora Bora.
Crazy, man. That's crazy. It's I don't know. It's a beautiful world, but it's a sick world at the same time, man. Because it's a world not worth living in, but at the same time, it'll be fun in the beginning. Fun in the beginning until all your body will get out of hand, atrophy, and then you like whatever, man. Yeah,
we'll be living chamber lives, man. I'm just gonna go hook myself up to this feed, and so I can make sure I eat while I'm just doing whatever. Make sure you get your nutrients, feed yourself, and then just go into your world. It's gonna be crazy, scary.
Yeah, man. I'll be dead by the time it comes. It is what it is.
You never know. Could be sooner than you think.
Shit, man, I could die sooner than I think too. So we'll see, man. But man, hey, we ain't get no missed cigar review. I don't know how long the reviews is gonna last, but I do have a question, cigar related.
What's up,
man? Before we jump into these reviews, man, give me a brief review of your Davidoff that you told us about last week, man. You got time for it?
I got time.
Or should we just go into the actual reviews?
No, I'm gonna speak on the Davidoff real quick. I ain't gonna take too long. But man, okay, so we know Davidoff. We know where it sits in the realm of cigars. Get
a people reminder what you smoked though. What the actual stick.
Okay, so I smoked the Davidoff Royal Release.
Yeah,
Salmones stick. So of course the cigar is a long stick. Probably almost twice the size of this cigar. Almost twice the size of the cigar that I smoked today. Your normal size cigar. But so it's not a Lancero, but it has that length and it has the gauge on it that gives you a good size cigar. And man, when I took that bad boy out of the packaging, I'm telling you, it was a star from the beginning until the point I'm at now. I'm not done with the cigar. I definitely, put it on pause. I smoked it Sunday last week. This just past Sunday. And I'm definitely going back to it. Honestly, I think you can get like 3 smokes out of this thing. 3 long 2-hour smokes. Smoked it for about 2 hours. And it's still about the size of a regular cigar. but it was a star from the beginning to the point that I'm at now. Just holding it in my hand, the feeling of the texture of the wrapper is unlike anything I've ever touched cigar-wise. And as soon as I took it out the plastic, the aroma from that cigar just lit me up. Matter of fact, I had to call you. As soon as I took it out the plastic, I'm like, yo, this cigar is insane to this point. Haven't lit it, haven't chopped it up yet, haven't you know what I'm saying, snipped it just yet.
Up now. For those of y'all that don't know now, me and D, we probably speak every day. But I don't speak on the phone with him about 3 times a year. So he called me, just so y'all know. Like,
yeah.
And two of those 3 is normally when we having problems on the show trying to get the show going.
Exactly. But I had to pick up the phone and say, yo, this cigar is insane to this point. That aroma just set me off. Probably the best smelling stick pre-light that I've ever had a chance to experience.
Yeah.
Walking through the first light, toasting it, man, it was smooth. Slight pepper, the way Davidoff usually does it. They usually do pepper very well. Nice oil. Like we like when cigars do a certain thing. We don't like it overdone. Oil on an overly oily cigar is something that we don't like. Leather, we don't usually like it, but it had the leather, it had some oil, but it was done very finely, very fine, and had a nice little sweet to it too. I think I hit you up and said it had a fig. It's kind of hard for me to describe, but it had like this fig. And I haven't gone back to look and see what should I be getting, kind of know should I be getting off that Davidoff. But it gave me some fig, it gave me some earth, it gave me some leather, it gave me some oil, but it was nicely done. I guess to introduce the cigar. So I'm not even past the first third, I don't think, or maybe I might be just touching the second third. But to that point, and the aroma that came off of that cigar, beautiful to this point. And I'm interested to see where else the cigar is going to take me, because I'm pretty sure with the length of the cigar, it's going to have some twists and some turns. It's going to hit me.
Oh, yeah.
And for those who don't know, the cigar is priced at about $150, $160 per stick.
Is it premature to ask you for a grade so far?
Yes.
It's premature.
I would say it would be
not a
unfairly...
Not a number. Just a letter grading.
Oh, it's an A.
Card.
It's an A.
Okay.
It's an A.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying that just because it's an expensive cigar. Because I'm gonna be honest, completely honest about it. Especially if I spend that much money on a stick, you're gonna get every true review from me, whether I like it or not. Because that's ridiculous if you're selling a stick that's $150 and it ain't good. It's like saying at a hotel that's almost $1,000 and they ain't hitting you with the amenities that you want to hit. Or you buy a car that's up there and it ain't driving the way it's supposed to drive. Or you go get a steak that's up there and it ain't hitting. Be fair with the stick. So to this point, it's a nice smoke. It's a nice smoke. So is it one of my favorites just yet? I'm not going to say it is. It hasn't beat Plasencia just yet. So to this point, would I grab a Plasencia or would I grab that Davidoff? I'm grabbing Plasencia.
Okay.
But I can see that the cigar has more in store. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
Okay. Good information. All right. So from here, I'm going to jump into my review of this Diamond Crown Maximus Pyramid number 3. So far, well, we'll start from the top. At the very first light, I used a matches to light it, and I was really pleasantly I was enjoying it right off the initial light. You know how you get that feeling from right off the bat if you know it's going to be a good smoke or not. I knew right off the bat I was going to be having a good smoke. So with that being said, a lot of what I was picking up on from the beginning was more of a the unsweetened chocolate taste. You know what I'm saying? On that. It was a lot of woodiness, some smoky woodiness that I was picking up on also within it. As I continued to progress through the cigar, I began to notice a little bit of spice. And then some of the spice has subsided at this point in time. And now that I'm in the second third, picking up on some oiliness and some leather. And I'm going to be honest with you. We go 1 to 5 in our grading. I was ready to give it a 4, and this second, third, where I'm starting to pick up on some of the oil and some of the leather, actually took it to a 4.1 for me. So I'm gonna go 4.
Oh, it picked it up.
It picked it up, and that's normally not the case for us.
Mm-hmm.
But it gave a new element, and it did it so well that I was like, ooh, that made it a little bit better for me. So I'm gonna go 4.1 on this right now. And this very well, if it's continued to go up, it's got the potential to go up some more, but only I'll know that, after the fact, what I'm saying? I continue to smoke it. But the second, third just raised its score for me. So, hey, man, the final third could take it up another notch. Who knows?
Nice.
But right now, that's my final score, 4.1 for this Diamond.
Honestly, Maximus. I thought you were going to go down on it. I thought you were going to take it down a notch. So I'm pleasantly surprised to hear that. Because what question it brings up to me is Gurkha. Because I just talked about the leather and the oil. You just spoke on leather and oil, and you said it raised your score up. And then for me to dab it off the way you handled the oil and the leather was a nice introduction to the cigar, which gave it a nice solid base. And that's what Gurkha does. But why is Gurkha not hitting?
They just don't do it well.
They don't do it right.
I don't know how you specialize. It's like going to the fried chicken restaurant and they don't make good fried chicken. That's what Gurkha is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't. They specialize in it, but they're not good at it.
That is crazy. That's crazy. But I can appreciate that score. So shout out to Diamond, right? Diamond?
Yeah, Diamond Crown.
Maximus. Yeah. Hey, Gurkha, get with Diamond Crown and see what y'all can do to leverage that leather and oil. And talk to Davidoff too. Come on now, let's get it right.
Anybody. Everybody.
Get with AJ. Get with AJ.
Get with AJ, man. You can get with I don't know, JR Cigars, man. Get with somebody, man. Everybody do oil better than y'all. Leather,
And that's your thing. That is your anyway. I'm not gonna go in on Gurkha today. It's not the point of this episode.
Gurkha probably could get with Romeo y Julieta and they'll do a better job, man. Everybody does it better than y'all.
Gurkha outsource. Please start to outsource. Come on now.
Please
outsource,
man.
Anyway, let me get to this thing so I can go in on Gurkha. I'm not gonna do it today. I'll try not to, but it's raging in me right now. So look, hey man, when you sent me this, and I smoked it a couple weeks ago, I really, really enjoyed it, and today was no different. Because it hits different things that I don't typically get from a cigar, and that I didn't really know that I enjoyed until I had this one, and it kind of took me back to the Kentucky Woodfire, which kind of was a little overdone, but this kind of does it in a way that the Kentucky Woodfire sticks do. But it does it more subtle, more smooth, more of a refined ride than the other. But it kind of gives me that feel, and it's like one of those cigars that's like I don't know. It feels it warms you up. It warms you up. It gives you that good warm feeling, and it's like almost a perfect fall winter cigar because, like I said, it gives you that wood fire toastiness, that kind of wood chip feeling. Wood chip aroma, and it just feels good. It feels like I'm smoking a cigar, like I'm sitting by the fire. You know what I'm saying? Just getting warm and toasty. It's one of those vibes, and I really, really, really do like this vibe. The smoke to this point, getting to the second, third, nice, rich, creamy smoke, but not overdone. Not to the point to where it takes away from that refined smokiness. That refined toastiness, and it's nice. So that oak, that earth, that toastiness, that wood fire, that wood chip type of taste, really nice on the palate. I paired it with a coffee. I had a cold brew, and it had this butter rum flavor in it, and it paired nicely. I already knew how the cigar would smoke and taste prior to, but when I had this butter rum, I was like, I'm gonna drink this with the stick. It's gonna heighten it up just a notch, and it was really, really nice. So this Diesel Whiskey Roll looks like it says bourbon barrel aged. Nice ride. I'm gonna give this stick a solid 4.3. Solid 4.3. Not my favorite of all the cigars I've ever smoked, but I can see where the moment is calling for this stick for me to say, yeah, it's one of those sticks that you will crave from time to time. Ooh, I kind of want that flavor. Let me go grab that. So that 4.3 hits me right in that sweet spot to say there's going to be moments going forward in the future where I see that I might even like be in the humidor wanting it, and I see it and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want that. I want that taste. Or I can just be sitting back, not even thinking about it, or how do I want to say this? I can probably, it's just a craving type of thing. Oh, I kind of want that toastiness. Like they go outside, they get that feeling, you see some leaves falling. I kind of want that wood fire taste. Let me go grab me a diesel. I can see this being one of those.
Kind of like how there's an occasion for a fat bottom Betty or a Java mix, but it's not daily. But when you get that mood, you like, okay, I want that for that.
Yeah, I will go to the humidor specifically just to grab one of these because I want that flavor. I want what they do, and I'm gonna go grab that.
That'll be my go-to, but I will come for that when the moment arises. There, who comes to mind?
Yeah,
that's good to have.
Absolutely.
Those sticks are necessary.
Yeah.
Because those are lifers that stay in your humidor or not in your humidor. They stay. You're always gonna spend some money throughout the year on sticks like that.
Yeah, you're gonna keep them in mind. You're gonna keep them in mind, and every now and then they're gonna pop up and say, "Oh, I need that. I want that. I got a taste for this." You're gonna grab it. That's what this is. Definitely 4.3.
That's a fantastic score, man. I didn't expect to hear that good of a score, man. I thought you were going to go around where I went, but 4.3 is great, bro.
Nah, it's because the ride. If it was like the Kentucky Woodfire, it probably would have landed in the 3s. But since it just took the ride to that next level for me, I had to plus up to a 4.3. Plus the smoke was nice. It's nice.
Okay. All right, man. There you got it. It is the episode 72. We appreciate y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. Y'all keep y'all sticks up high.
Yes, sir.